Hello, everybody. Today's show is sponsored by our two presenting sponsors, Unicorn UNI KRN and Pugna PVGNA. As per usual, you'll be hearing a bit more about them in approximately 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 4 seconds. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to everybody's favorite SpaceX and just general space exploration and aeronautics podcast. I, of course, am your host. I was getting myself a title, but I don't think I'm Astronaut Ursinity. I'm here joined by regular friend and co-astronaut Proud. Hello, Proud.
Hey.
And we are joined by a special expert that we brought in for this monumentous week. We brought Skrunk in. He doesn't, we'll call him Dr. Skrunk. Sure, may as well.
Yeah, hello everybody. Pro space advocate here. Just hoping to have some good conversations.
This podcast has gone through many iterations. You know, there were the dark times when we were a Flat Earth podcast, and then I think briefly we were a seafaring podcast, but now we have kind of transcended the mortal plane, and we are now into space, potentially in Teslas in space. So yeah, thanks for Elon Musk for sponsoring this, but more importantly, thanks to Unicorn for sponsoring this, because they actually sponsored this, not Elon Musk. I do not have any flamethrowers, nor do I have any Boring Company hats inbound, despite, the fact that I kind of do want at least one of those two things.
I think we should shoot Elon into space.
I think that's his end goal. So we'll see.
Let's get that going, and then we'll move on.
All right. So Skrunk, thanks for coming by. First off, we figured we need somebody that plays Shadow Shaman. So we can talk about Shadow Shaman because Pratt and I don't play that hero, and also we like Skrunk, so we wanted to have him on. Just period.
Yep. Happy to be here. Happy to play Rasta for you guys. I am going to build a refresher, ags, and no wards, though, just so you know.
Nice. I don't want to pigeonhole you as the Rasta player, but it is like, when you have the same two people doing a Theorycraft podcast, some holes in our hero pool, in our collective hero pool, become somewhat obvious. And then people are like, oh, man, I guess they just are never going to play, I don't know, what's a different hero that we don't play?
Dude, the first episode I was on, you played Shadow Shaman.
I can't, I physically have the ability to click Shadow Shaman.
It's been covered. It's been played.
Yeah,
at least
people
once.
Can play it, but it is my second most played hero. I got 600 games on it and
so strong
60% win rate. So I feel like you can't be like that with every hero. You can't have lone druid level analysis for every hero.
Yeah. Otherwise we'd be here forever. So let's just kick it off with our week in Dota. Who wants to start?
Skrunk.
Okay, yeah, I'll start.
Skrunk.
So I've been playing a lot. Let's pull it up. I've been playing a lot of Wyvern with phase boots. Is the first thing I want to bring up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's really fun, and I really like the build up. You go Soul Ring phase boots, and I won a few games doing that, and I just felt really beefy.
That's awesome. I have seen, I think I haven't been playing that much Winter Wyvern recently, but I had one in one of my games, and they did something similar to that, where they just had no boots, they just got a Soul Ring as soon as possible, and then they built phase boots, and it was pretty dope. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I went Soul Ring and then just built a Bassi with just brown boots at first, just to give my team some mana regen aura, because I think no one on my team had an Aquila in that game. And then afterwards, I just threw on some phase boots, and then all of a sudden I had 70 damage, and I had 2 points in Arctic Burn. All my Arctic Burns were bringing people down to bringing them down a third HP and dealing a ton of damage. So that felt pretty strong. And then I just went pipe after. And then another game I went Vlad's. I've been really into aura items and stuff like that lately, getting Vlad's and pipe and stuff like that on my support heroes.
Any Helm of the Dominator?
I haven't been picking it up as much.
No support DOMs. Okay.
And then other than that, I did some ogre games that I lost, and I played like 3 or 4 tiny games that I won on my Smurf that I was pretty happy about. Just stomping people on tiny. So
that was playing it offlane or safe?
No, I've just been playing it mid and safe lane, like core on my Smurf.
I was looking like the last tournament that was played. I want to say about 60% of the tinies were offlane, and then like 30 were safe lane, and 10% were. I guess it's more like 60 offlane, 10% safe lane, or 10% like support, and then the rest was like a split between mid and safe lane. So it seems like most tinies are actually now doing the offlane tiny thing that you were doing before.
Yeah, I mean, couple weeks ago I was playing a lot of offlane tiny, so it's definitely like something I'm familiar with. But just recently I've been playing him as like a hardcore.
Yeah, I saw a few games offlane tiny, and I'm not a tiny player in the way that you guys are, but it definitely looked cool. I played against it once, and I was just like the initial shock of the offlaner having like 90 damage because he picked up a tree. I was just like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah, you just get the tree level 1, and you like trade hits with their support. And if you can ever make it so the supports go away, and you're like 1v1ing a carry, like an anti-mage or something, you're like owning them, so you get as much farm as like a regular core tiny.
Yeah, Tiny's a really good like 1v1 laner.
Yeah, exactly. So some games obviously you do get shut down because he doesn't have like an escape if they have the right heroes against you. But if you can get like your lane pulls off and do some stuff like that, he's insane.
Yeah, I had a game I lost earlier with I think was this game when I was Phantom Lancer? Yeah, we had an offlane tiny that just decided to like they did well, but then they just completely fell off because they built like they just had treads and not another attack speed item the entire game. It was like treads, blink, force staff, and then into like Yules and halberd, and they were just like, I don't know, a 1 second stun after that point. So
yeah.
How do you build it? Do you just build it like a regular tiny?
Yeah, I build it like it depends. There's some games where I like Echo Saber if you are like purely playing the initiator. Then I'll build like treads, blink, Echo Saber, and stuff like that. That's if we have like 2 hyper DPS cores. If the game is one where I'm going to have to be carrying it with damage more, then I will just go treads, and then I'll go drums, blink, but I'll like vary the order I'm getting them in depending on the situation. Yeah. But usually I'll go drums, blink, and then I just go right for AC and then heart after. Yeah. And I feel like once you get AC heart, you're like very strong in like almost every game, like just because of the amount of status
straight
resistance.
Up core that's going to get addressed for sure. I saw a lot of them were doing the blink shadow blade stuff that we were thinking about. That might be good after like the first big tiny change, but I mean, safe lane obviously isn't doing that, but it seems like offlane tiny, the like treads blink shadow blade, or treads wand blink shadow blade or whatever, is kind of what people have centered on. I'm not sure what they are really doing after that, but I think it's mostly that, like AC, BKB kind of shit.
Yeah, if you're playing like an initiator style, I think going Shadow Blade Blink is great. It just gives you more options for initiating and stuff.
Yeah, and the Shadow Blade actually giving you relevant attack speed, I think, goes a long way for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if it's a game where you want Silver Edge, like if you want to disable passives, it's great. But even otherwise, just stress the supports, make them buy sentries, and like it's such a pain, especially if Tiny can one-shot you or like combo you.
Yeah, it's like you need money to get tanky enough to not get one shot, but you also are spending it to like have Tiny not sneak up on you, so you end up still being squishy the entire game.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Tiny 4 position I haven't really gone into, but it's definitely something that is like seems pretty interesting.
I played one game of it last week that I was talking about, and it was I just went to every lane and killed everyone, but that was also like the perfect game and not something that was very easily repeatable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some 4 games are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've Tiny's one of those heroes where I see him in games and I'm like, man, I want to pick that, and then I enter my next game and I never pick it. So I've gone months probably without playing Tiny, despite the changes do make the hero pretty cool. Let's see. My week in Dota, I played Morphling for the first time since they made all these changes. And also they just buffed him in 7.08, which we'll be talking about shortly. And the hero felt, granted, like this was a really bad Morphling game. It was single draft that we were trying to get my friend out of low prio. And Morphling just felt really weak. Like I was super ahead. I free farmed. I had like a 24-minute E-Blade, Yasha, Treads, and an Aki. I didn't need a Linken's that game, despite like I kind of wanted one. But even then, I just felt quite weak. So I'm not on the Morphling train at the moment.
Did you just?
It was like,
I feel like anytime I play Morphling without some kind of big mana regen item, like he just takes so fucking long to come online.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple. What's called mana boot builders on my team, and then I also just like ferried out a couple clarities here and there.
Yeah,
it was
spamming waveform is so necessary for your farming.
Yeah, my real issue was that like post farming, I just could not burst anyone. Honestly, this is just a really bad Morphling game, like comp wise. But I felt as though it was one of those situations where you think your output is going to be much higher than it actually is.
Yeah, you can't actually kill anyone.
Yeah, so that was unfortunate. Other than that, I've just been playing Rubik. I've played almost like half my games this week have been Rubik. That's been good. I've just been rushing Aetherlens basically every game, and it feels godly. Honestly, I don't know how I played Rubik before I started building Aetherlens all the time, but I certainly am not going to go back.
So like before Blink, you just go Aetherlens straight up?
Yeah, I'm not even going Blink that much anymore, unless it's a really good Blink game. So like, for instance, in my last 5 Rubik games, I only built Blink once. The game I built Blink in...
What would you get besides Blink?
I mean, you get whatever you need. Usually, my itemization is something like boots, mana boots, and then you have casual windlace and wand, of course, and then either Glimmer Cape or Aetherlens first. And then if I build Aetherlens first, I generally go Glimmer second. And then the reason why I've been getting away with that without going Blink in a lot of games is that I find once you have Aetherlens and your 100 cast range talent at 15. You are so far away, or rather you have so much cast range that you don't need mobility unless it's like a evasive mobility or or for this game that I did build Blink in again, I built it because I was stealing RP and then I'd have a team fight ult, so I wanted to blink in to use the team fight ult.
Yeah.
But in these kind of games where you're just like spamming CC from the sidelines and spamming nukes and whatnot, I find that if I just have enough cast range, I play it right, I don't die, and the mobility is kind of redundant. So I'd rather just have like the ability to do my spells better. I got Nullifier in 2 of my Rubik games. Only one of them I got to actually use it.
Yeah.
How do you play with the defensive or offensive null field? Do you like switch it based on the situation, or you just keep it on one?
So that's the big thing that actually has like made me win a lot more of my Rubik games in the last week, is that I've really been focusing on that. And essentially my game plan is that if I'm on the aggressive, I have it on the offensive version of null field, and then if I'm on the defensive, I put it on the defensive form, which makes the thought process very easy. Essentially, there are some just like simple calculations in that, like, all right, if I know I'm ganking and my mid is a Zeus, then I know I want to have offensive. But if my mid is a PA, there's absolutely no reason. So in general, I just follow that rule. If I'm the aggressive party, I keep it on the offensive version. If I'm farming, I keep it on the offensive version.
Have you been like maxing it? Because I've seen a lot of Rubiks going like 1-4-4 and stuff like that.
Yeah,
maxing out Fade Ball first, of course, but
yeah, I've been maxing it in some of my games. I want to say most of my games I've been maxing it second. There have been a few games where I'll get like 2 points telekinesis, but in general, it's just so strong to just be negating 22% magic resistance on enemies, unless your team is truly just like all armor. All physical damage. Then whatever, but. It's super
Proud
good.
Had a game the other day where I had like 4 points in it pretty early, and we had an OD that was going off, and just using Sanity's Eclipse in my range of it, and like it was just insane. Everyone's dying.
Yeah, it's honestly gross. But yeah, so that's been most of my wins. I've made back my losing streak, so I'm reinvigorated to play Dota. Also, apparently, I think I'm pretty close to my next star. So that's like the extra little kick in the pants that's getting me to like actually grind a little bit more.
Yeah, I got my star finally this week.
Nice.
I think I'm getting close to the next one.
Yeah, I'm annoyed.
3 games off.
I'm annoyed because the break points for stars have changed over time. Apparently, the stars are relative to percentiles.
It keeps getting weird. Some people like log on and just ask me like, "Hey, why did I lose a game and then rank up?" I'm like, I don't fucking know. Not a wizard.
I was reading a Reddit thread, which is of course a dangerous thing to do in the first place. But because at the beginning of the patch,
this is low hanging fruit, but like Reddit is so fucking bad.
No, I know.
My life has gotten so much better since I've just not visited that fucking cesspool in so long.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. But then again, like, what else am I going to do at work? I follow R Dota 2 and RK-pop. And
there's actually no websites anymore to do anything. There's like checking my Twitter and then my Discords and like what else is the internet going to do?
BBC or some shit.
Like what am I going to do?
Yeah, I play a lot of Words with Friends, but my phone dies usually like a few hours into my workday if I play too much Words with Friends. So
why don't you have a charger?
Because then it draws attention to the fact that I'm spending too much time on my phone if there's just like charging wires around. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I would have figured a way around that, just saying.
I mean, it's not...
I'm sure you can, too.
I'm sure I can. I just don't care to. Anyway, so I was reading a Reddit thread, and some dude's like, yeah, I just hit like 5275, and I got my Divine 4. And I was like, this is, or I think he said like 5350 or something like that. And I was like, literally, when I calibrated, I won 8 games in a row, and I hit like 5275, which was like my personal peak of all time. And then... And I was still Divine 1 at frickin' 5275. And now I'm hearing people that are like, yeah, I'm 5300. I'm like Divine 3. I'm like, this is...
Yeah, it's supposed to be like every 140 MMR is a star. It's like the way it worked out.
Yeah, I think that's how it initially worked
changing.
out. And yeah, apparently it's percentile based, which is why it's kind of like, you know, it used to get Divine 1 at, let's say, 5140. Now you get Divine 1 at 5100 or whatever. So I was quite annoyed when I read that, and I was like, man, I should have just not played, and then I would have just played 1 game and gained 3 freaking stars. Anyway, so I've been winning
because everyone's playing right as the system comes out, so it's like harder to get in.
Yeah, so I've been winning and I've been having a lot of fun. I've been playing a bunch of Lena also after the change. She still feels weak, but she feels a lot less weak thanks to the +3 int. And just Rubik, man. Aetherlens, everything. That's all I want to do. And Nullifier is way good. Even on supports, if you can afford it, it can be clutch. So, Proud, how about your week in Dota?
It's been good. As I said, I got stars, so I've been winning some games. I had the last game that I played was just like pure fucking anarchy, and I kept trying to play Dota. Like we had a techies on our team, and no 5. We just had a Ricky. I bought the courier. Like, I didn't have a ward top for about 11 minutes till I bought my own, but I couldn't even get my fucking ward because they kept using the courier. I'm like, I'm a carry who bought a ward. Like, can I at least get it? Like, I'm pretty fucking far down here. And it's just weird. And I just kept fucking dying. I was like 2 and 8. So then I just was like, fuck it. I'm just going to AFK farm. Our Omni Knight has a fucking Radiance and an S and Y and a Bloodborne, and he's just chasing motherfuckers, killing them. Like their Tinker is just chain killing our techies because techies is just in the middle of their jungle for no fucking reason. And our Ricky just chain killing their silencer. And eventually we win because it's a techies game. And that was like a very harrowing moment for me. So I've just that was like everything I knew about Dota was just wrong, and I was like still like there are still sometimes games where you just have to fucking turn your brain off and just fucking farm and don't participate, and eventually things will shake out. Like, they were just operating on another plane of existence for how you play Dota, and I just couldn't keep up with it. So it's like, Omni Knight is not gonna TP to save anyone. Omni Knight is our ganker now. So I'm just not gonna, maybe I'm now our AFK farmer. I don't know. Maybe I should be supporting. I don't know what this game is anymore. So I'm just gonna not. And then we won. As soon as I stopped doing that, I stopped dying. It was great.
Sometimes you just gotta sit back and just like let whatever happens happen, and like try not to influence things too much when they're going crazy like that.
Yeah, like there was a creeps porting or like creeps going to push our bottom tower, and I was like, it would make sense that I would TP here, and then if people showed up, our Omni would TP in and save me. But obviously that didn't happen. I just showed up, 3 people gagged me, I ran back to our tier 2 and died while our Omni was like split pushing a tier 1 at top. And I was like, I'm just not gonna do that anymore. I'm not like, because you operate at a level where it's like, oh, this is safe to do because if they attack me, they will get punished. This was a game where no one was getting punished for anything. It was just fucking total freeform new age parents. Everything was okay and encouraged. And I was just sitting there like, can you please get your children to stop spitting in my eye? And they're like, well,
that's his decision.
To learn how their mouths work. Yeah. Like, whatever.
Yo, can I tell you what you reminded me of real quick?
Yes.
There was a game I played the other day. I forgot to mention this in your story reminded me. We had a carry bounty hunter. He started in the offlane, but he built Battle Fury, and then he had like Boots of Travel, Scotty, S&Y, and he just wasn't fighting at all. And I was a Wind Ranger middle, and I kept trying to like gank and stuff. And I was like, come on, guys, we got this. But Bounty just would never come with us because he wanted to have like 800 GPM. So I literally just sat in the woods for 20 minutes, farming the same like jungle camps over and over again until this bounty carried us to victory. Yeah, it's so ridiculous sometimes.
Huh.
Gotta play around how your players play, I guess.
Have you guys...
Yeah, then there was...
Sorry, continue.
What, Sam?
No, continue.
What?
Continue. I was going to bring us on a tangent.
There was that Venge game also that I played. I think it was like... I like woke up and I was like, I'm just going to play... I rolled against someone for safe lane. They got it. It's like, all right, I'll just give up my lane even though I selected it like a minute beforehand. And then this dude picked Rubik and he was like, I'm going to 4. And I'm like, okay. But he said it in Spanish. I had to Google translate it. And I was like, okay, this game's going to be a little rocky. I'm going to figure it out. And then at the end of the phase, he was like, actually, can you play 5? Which I also had to Google translate. And I was like, sí, no problema. And then we just like went around the entire game with me speaking what little broken Spanish I know and using Google Translate and pings to make calls. And we just fucking stomped the shit out of that game. It felt so good. It was just the best. We were like fucking like multicultural A-team. We just showed up everywhere and kicked ass. It was
Dota's
awesome.
Been saved.
Yeah, dude. I ended the game 4-3 and 15, and the Rubik was 5-5 and 15. We stomped that yard. It was great. And that was probably the best feeling I've had in Dota for a while. And then I met up with our carry player who rolled against me several times later, and again today. And I'm just every time I'm just like, I'll give you core. I'm gonna play Venge again, and you're gonna play Terrorblade again, and we're just gonna win. So now I'm 3-0 with this guy playing Venge Terrorblade.
Man, that's like the good version of what's been happening to me. I think the only game I lost recently is I keep running to this mid player who has some I can't remember his name. It's something like it's like Mr. Kitty or something ridiculous.
Okay, you're right.
Oh no, it's King Cabbage. It has something to do with cabbages. Anyway.
That name is familiar.
Anyway, he
called out.
He auto locks mid every time, and he's like, I think he's like Divine 1 or Divine 0. Even like when we have like Divine 5s and stuff on our team. And the first game I won with this dude, I was like, all right, you're the best, and I was like super motivational. And then I've run to him like 6 times since, and we've lost every single game. And I'm just like, please stop ending up in my pubs for the love of God. Like at least be on the other team. And yeah, luckily I've been changing my name, so he doesn't recognize me, I don't think. But I recognize this guy every time, and I'm like, please, if you pick OD, I know you're going to lose your lane, even when you're in a winning matchup. So yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. I had that with anytime there's someone who's like their rank is way higher than everyone else in the game, you know that they're just chain losing.
Yeah, they're super tilted.
Like shit. Yeah, so like a week ago, I saw a Sven that was like Divine 5, not ranked, just Divine 5. I'm like, okay, this person definitely is having a bad day if he's down with the fucking 1s and 0s. And so we just ganked him 3 times. He raged out and we won the game. This time we had like a Divine 5 Pudge on our team. And it was Divine. I was like, okay, you can have mid, sir. And then he just like first picks a Pudge. And I'm like, this is not going to go well. And lo and behold, he just fucking missed every hook and then like raged out and bought all our wards and fed them. It's like, I knew this was going to happen. There was nothing I could fucking do. It's just straight. It's like a train running at me. And I just like begged my friend to step out of the way. And he was just like, no, I don't believe you. This is going to be fine. Ugh, it was the worst. Anyway, that's mostly Dota. Oh, There was the game that we played, Skrunk, where I was Ursa.
Oh shit, yeah. That game was insane.
That was a fun game.
I was tiny that game, right?
No, you were tiny. No, this was the Rubik game. You were tiny when I was Lone Druid, and that hero is so fucking worthless.
Oh, that game was sweet. I carried that game.
Yeah, you carried it hard as shit. I had like fucking Radiance Mask of Madness at 40 minutes.
Okay, hold on.
That was Lone Druid. Yeah, pull up the Ursa game because this was a treat. This was I really wanted to play like Tiny or something.
Okay. Yeah, you went Battle Fury Divine on Ursa. Yes, yeah. I remember this. Battle Fury Eggs.
The build was Battle Fury, Blink Dagger, Divine Rapier, Aghanim Scepter, and it worked perfectly. It was so good.
Yeah, it really did work. Like as soon as Proud got the Rapier, we just won like a 5-man team fight decisively right after. And
I got caught out with a stun too. It's just I had Ag, so I dispelled it and then killed their Earthshaker immediately. And then their Chaos Knight like reality rifted me, and I was like, I'm just gonna kill you. And I Fury swiped down him and all of his illusions in one cooldown.
Yeah, that was the great part.
What?
Yeah, the Battle Fury. Yeah, we were against the CK, so yeah, the illusions died in one swipe or a few swipes.
Overpower.
Yeah,
it was so good.
That's something.
It's like you think like, you say, okay, so Fury swipes doesn't really synergize with Divine Rapier, right? Because like Fury swipes is modified only really by minus armor and getting more attacks off, and Divine Rapier is not that. But Overpower works really well with Divine Rapier, because if you get 6 max speed Divine Rapier shots, like you win the game. No one lives through that. It was great. Loved it.
So we just got hit with 7.08 that has affected our, it came out on Friday, right? So we've had a few days to plan it.
I thought you were saying like a new patch came out.
Oh,
right
no. I'm just transitioning as we attempt to do. So we get hit with a patch on Friday, so we played basically a week of it.
How do you?
The big thing I've been noticing is I've been seeing Alchemist in not a lot of my games, but a lot relative to how infrequently he used to be picked. I've seen it. I only played one game today, but he was in my game as a carry today. I had a couple of games where I saw it as support. They've all been losses except for my game with the carry Alch today. That was very nearly a loss because of how Alchemist functions. Yeah. Although I will say he did give me an Ags at the end of the game, so I was pretty content. But this guy did a fighting Alch build, which was actually kind of new because one of the big reasons why Alchemist started fading out, right, was like they made like the illusion nerfs with Radiance and whatnot, and also they directly nerfed Alch, of course, and it took poor man's shield out and stuff like that. But this guy did a fighting build that was actually really cool. He was the luckiest Alch in the world, I will say. We myself playing Rubik and then the Bane on my team, we just made so many stacks for this guy. It was like heaven. So he had a 7-minute Battle Fury.
Jesus.
And then he just he went Battle Fury, then he finished Treads, then he got Sage and Yasha and Silver Edge. And he had Sage and Yasha, Silver Edge, Treads, Battle Fury, and like a wand, I think, at 18 minutes. And he just walked around the map killing everybody. And it was pretty sick. And then he built being a smart, good player, he built a Battle Fury, a BKB at 22, and it was like, all right, we can actually do things compared to the normal Alch that just feeds his gold away. Although he did feed gold away at a certain point.
Get like a butterfly or something at 22 minutes and then just die to like spell damage.
Yeah.
Ashivas.
He did die a couple times, but it gave me a little bit of confidence in Alch, as much as I kind of hate this hero conceptually and in its current iteration. The thing that I've been seeing more of and always losing with and always seeing lose is the freaking Alch support. So have you guys run into that at all? Apparently some people love it. And like some people think it's really good, according to my Twitter feed when I started ranting about Alch.
I haven't seen Alch at all lately, so I don't know. I've
seen literally.
Okay, all right. Never mind then. You guys are lucky. It's I started complaining, and then apparently it's like a big trending thing in Australian pubs at the moment is for Alch. And I saw some pro players talking about it. And apparently Sheepstick has been playing it, and she's like a 5K plus. I think she's like 6K actually. EU West player. Yeah. So
I'm trying to look at people playing it. Oh, here's a game Woodshrew's in that supposedly has an Alch.
I run into that guy all the time in unranked, and we always win together. It's very fortunate. Let me see. But yeah, Alchemist is something that I'm very
Juicy.
scared at the concept of coming back. So I'm hoping this is like, I feel like in the first week of any patch, no matter how small, people start trying out all the weird things, and then they like settle down.
Yeah, like playing Lion.
All right, Skrunk, what is your?
I heard on
I love
Monday
Lion.
or Tuesday. You guys.
Oh
lost
yeah, we both. Yeah,
that shitty.
I
hero.
just want to hear. Also, the big difference nowadays is that people are doing max concoction builds.
Yeah.
Compared to
Yeah, it
before,
makes
where they
sense
just
if
do
you're
like
poor.
the hard farming. No, I mean even as carry alch, you still max concoction.
I mean, it is like a 4.5 second stun. It's pretty great.
Yeah. 4 second or whatever.
Yeah, and the
It is, the cooldown's only 8 seconds. Holy shit! If you get the level 10 talent.
yeah, it's honestly kind of disgusting.
Yeah, that's really good.
And and that's one of the reasons I don't want to see it in my pubs. But yeah, people have just been maxing a concoction and playing like you could play super aggro as a safe laner and just kill the offlane over and over again. And it's interesting, honestly. I can't hate it too much, but I really don't want it to become a thing.
Right.
Same.
So what have you guys been seeing now that the patch, or like, yeah, well, have you guys been seeing anything different now that the patch has hit, or any heroes you guys have been
A
playing?
lot of OD.
Really?
Like a lot of OD.
I've been seeing a lot of OD too. I was just gonna say that.
Really?
It's just like he wins every lane, and he's just I don't really know why, but it's almost every game. It's like who's gonna play OD, and then our mid laner is like, what do I pick against that? And we're like, I don't fucking know.
Sniper,
dude.
Maybe.
What? I don't know.
See,
Sniper sucks because everyone's playing like Clockwork
Yeah.
and Tusks. It's like you can't pick Sniper. What do you do? I was like, someone played Quap and they did okay, but beyond that, like TA fucking sucks.
yeah, OD didn't even.
You pick like Viper or something, but
Yeah, but then you're playing Viper.
Viper's
Yeah.
bad against OD too, because like once he's got a bit of damage, you fucking like tear through him.
OD got nerfed in this most
yeah.
recent patch too. That's the weird thing. Like, and
Did
well,
he?
because he didn't get any direct buffs, and Blink Dagger got nerfed, and Force Staff got nerfed, and Hurricane Pike got nerfed,
Yeah,
and BKB got nerfed.
something about him though.
He's way good,
It just
though.
fits the pace of the game. Yeah, like
yeah.
lots of fighting and
Early kills not mattering. He has a save, and all of our supports right now don't have saves. They all have like fucking.
Yeah, they're
stuns and
all
shit.
aggressive, and he's defensive. He's hard to gank.
it's a lot of
Yeah.
strength heroes running around too. So like
Right.
he punishes that pretty hard.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like I was seeing.
I've been seeing a lot
I was seeing a
of
lot of him already, so that didn't really register. But now that you mention that, I do definitely see him in the majority of games. Also, yeah.
I feel like I have more Tinker now too, because everyone's just like, "Oh, this is broken." They nerfed it because it was broken. Now I'm gonna pick it.
I've been lucky. It's been getting banned like every game I'm in. Well, because
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
banned.
I was gonna say I try to ban it too.
Right.
Still,
Yeah, that's my number one ban. But if not, I ban fucking Brew or whatever. But yeah, I mean, he gets through half the time. So then if it gets through, I see it. So that's that.
I had I had like 3 games in a row where I had brood mothers in the game the other
Oh.
day.
Oh yeah, dude, Brood mid like every game.
Yeah, mid brood. Yep, exactly. Luckily, I was on their team and we won like all of them. But it was
Yeah.
pretty insane. Like if people are good at it, which I don't
Yeah.
care to become good at him. But if people want to put in the effort in, it's like wins free pubs. Seems like.
Yeah,
Yeah, my last support game, we had a Brood mid that went 9-1, and the dude was toxic as shit. But we won.
yeah, it was
so
worth it.
whatever.
Yeah,
I lost one report and I gained 25 MMR. So
it's a good trade. The Brood mid, the first time I saw it, it was one of those like jaw dropping moments where I was like, "This is disgusting." Because I just vividly remember. I forget. I guess it's not a very vivid memory. I forget what hero I was playing, but the enemy mid was a Brood. I think I was like Quap or somebody.
Bat Rider.
But they had a Brood, and he had his webs in like the perfect formation so that he could farm both his ancient camps.
Believe it or not, Brood Mother is not a dude.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yes, you're right. So the Broodmother player had their webs such that they were able to farm the lane, push lane out, and then if I'd wave clear on whatever hero I was playing, and then they couldn't push my tower since I'd wave clear, so they would just go and they'd farm both ancient camps, and then by the time they were done with both ancient camps, they'd come back in lane and farm another wave. So they were like getting like quadruple the farm I could possibly get at any given time. And it was just horrific. I was like, I cannot possibly cope with this. So yeah, I've not seen too much of that. I saw it in, I forget what streamer I was watching. It might have been I don't know, it doesn't matter. But I saw him just play co-op against Brood, and I was like, there's just no way this person like is able to pull this out. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if you can wave clear and like stand against the Brood by yourself, if you want to leave to like get a rune and gank or something like that, then like your tower just dies immediately. And it's like you can't just send any support there to leech the lane against the Brood. Yeah, they'll just die and then lose the tower. So it's pretty rough when it gets picked like late in a pick stage. Obviously you could pick like axe and stuff if you know it's coming, but
then you have an axe.
But even then, that doesn't help you in the laning phase. Yeah, and then also you have an axe.
Yeah, no, it's rough. She's strong for sure.
Yeah. That being said, I don't mind the new Broodmother, you know, quote unquote new. It's been like this for whatever, a few months, but I don't mind the Brood as much now, even if she's stronger, just because like mechanic wise, it's less annoying to play against. Because
dude, I don't know about that. It's like more infuriating now because even if you see her, she still can like fucking free path through.
I guess.
Like
sometimes it's quite frustrating to deal with still, but at least you're not pouring lots of gold into it.
Yeah, like at least that. But I was just like, this Brood that I was with was just like getting ganked by 4 people and like routinely like stunned out 1 second, have like 1 second left to live and just like crosses one tree and then she just like survives. I'm like, that must be the worst.
I think of it more like the new Brood is as though you got stabbed and they left the knife in you, and then the old Brood was like, oh, they just keep stabbing you over and over again, and like cumulatively it's probably a similar experience of terrible. But in the moment, I'm like, I'd rather just like get stabbed once.
Yeah, same overall broken skin duration.
Yeah, but it's pretty brutal. Any other trends you guys have been noticing, especially like specific 7.8?
I mean, that meteor
that's the big one. I've built it once, and I had a really good time with it. I said I was going to be building it regularly after that once, and then I still have not built it in the last like half dozen games. But it feels real good. Skrunk, have you been building Meteor Hammer?
No, I actually haven't built it once, but I was watching like Complexity versus someone the other day, and Z-Freak was doing Noggin Net into Meteor Hammer, and it was doing really well. And I know it has like potential with heroes like that. And there was some game, wasn't there a game we were in where it like changed the course of a team fight? I can't remember. But yeah, it definitely has its place. Have you been building
I'm
a
still
sim?
Playing just
or Greg, I mean?
No, I that we might have been in a game where that happened, but I'm not sure. I definitely have like memories of that graphic happening.
I built it once in a game where we were just winning, and somebody mentioned like, "Hey, it'd be really good if you built a Meteor Hammer." And I was like, "Sure, I guess I'll build a Meteor Hammer. Why not?" And the stats on it are really nice: 12 strength, 12 int, and then HP regen and mana regen, of course. And that tanks you up a good bit if you're buying it on a support, and then it gives you a good bit of mana pool. So that felt really nice about it. But the other big thing was it's a good amount of damage on towers. Also, it stuns the towers, apparently, which is a weird concept. But let's see. Cumulatively, it does 75 damage to the building, and then it does 50 damage for 6 seconds. That's like, what, 300?
Is that halved?
That's a good question.
There's a lot of things that do half damage.
It has a different damage to buildings than units, so I assume it just does the straight 50 damage. Unless I don't think buildings have magic resistance. Yeah,
I mean, I'm just gonna look at.
Well, I'm on Dota 2 wiki
because that's much better than Sam trying to. Okay,
I'm just telling you what it tells me.
Well, there's always that like on the right side of it. It just like tells you what happens. Why doesn't it? Can deal a total damage of 690
and 375
to
buildings
and 375
that's what I said.
That's a lot.
Right, there's that information.
That's what I said.
It
says before reductions. What are the reductions?
Yeah.
Are there reductions for buildings, I should say? Anyway, it does not seem that there are.
Most things like state if they do less damage.
Yeah. So it felt really good, honestly. Like it had a good build up too. It's legit. It's cool. It's just kind of like you have to find the right heroes to build it on. Like, I built on a Rubik, because Rubik's itemization is very open, and it's like, I think I went, like, mana boots, disassemble mana boots, built an Aether Lens, then I got Tranquil Boots, and then I built a Meteor Hammer, and I was like, all right, cool, good.
Yeah, I might try building it on Ogre or something like that. I mean, strength and
Yeah, that would be good.
It's good for him. Gives you more building siege. It's definitely good
Yeah.
in like these lineups where you like send illusions or send units at the tower and kind of free up space for just like enough time to channel it, and you can split push and chip away that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to, I mean, it's best to combo with heroes that get Aether Lens
Yeah.
also, because you still have to get pretty close up.
True.
There was some, I forget what hero I was playing. It was some hero where I had an Aether Lens. I think it was like Bane or something. And I would just like, you know, I would nightmare a creep like up on the high ground or whatever, and from like really far away, so we'd have vision, and then I would just like fucking meteor hammer shit. It was great.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Well, like I said, I mean, my Rubik game I built it on. I had an Aether Lens and I had my cast range talent, so I was literally 900 some odd units away casting it. It felt so
Yeah.
good.
Channeling an AoE.
Yeah, and it's
stun.
like if they engage on me, my team just kills them. Like, all right, cool, and like I sacrifice a Rubik, but I gain a whole team fight initiation. So it feels way good. Do you think it needs a nerf, or do you think it just is finding its right place?
Well, I don't think it needs a nerf yet. If it continues to show itself to be like a core pickup, I guess it could maybe get toned down a little bit. But no, I think it's fine where it is.
Yeah, like I'm a little afraid of like, oh, once again, they just bought a fucking stun. Like that's
Yeah.
a reaction I will probably have at some point in time. But until that point, I think it's cool and good.
That's fair.
Why doesn't Alk get it?
I mean, Alk support does.
Yeah, support Alk would definitely get it. If you have a 4-second stun, that's enough to channel your bullshit.
And then, yeah, somebody was.
Wow. Yeah.
I saw a GIF of something that like you channel your stun and you have the stun talent. You throw your stun, you channel Meteor Hammer. By the time your Meteor Hammer goes out, you can channel your stun again, and you can just chain stun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of
I don't
gross.
think that works though, because it's a 4-second stun.
Oh yeah.
8-second.
Well, I mean, you can chain those three
It's-
right away. Right, like you can chain those three.
Chain a few together.
Oh yes. Okay, so you started off. No, the cooldown for your thing doesn't start until you throw.
Huh.
That's true. Yeah.
That should not be. That I mean, that's not possible.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
But you
someone
can
lied
still
to you.
Someone did
8
lie to
seconds
me,
of stun.
but it's still a lot.
Right.
It's still a lot of stun.
Not quite 8. But yeah.
Whatever.
It's a good amount of
A
stun,
lot.
regardless.
How long does Meteor Hammer stun for?
Two and a half seconds.
Oh,
2.5.
okay.
So you
Oh, no,
do
no,
6.5
sorry.
seconds
6.5.
of stun.
It's 2 seconds of stun, 6 seconds of burn,
Okay.
and then it takes 2.5
6
seconds to
total
go.
of stun. Then with that, yeah, I mean it's 2 seconds until your
That's
fucking
some stun.
unstable's up again.
You know what
Sure,
it does?
It's fine.
Maybe it makes it so when you join those games where you're like, wow, we have no stuns at all, makes those winnable, actually, if just everyone buys Meteor Hammer.
It's cheaper than a
Yeah.
sheepstick.
The issue with those games is normally like we can't hold on to them. We have no stuns, so channeling for 3.5 seconds doesn't really
Right,
solve that
unless
issue.
you're
I don't
just-
think.
Unless you're like Gosu as fuck and just land your skill shots. Gives you a chance.
Prep it. If it didn't show a fucking target beforehand, then it would be totally viable.
Yeah, true.
That's fair.
Alright.
Any other trends? For me, it's really just
Let me
Alk. So I'm tapped.
There was like one that I saw. Let me scroll back down.
Did you guys
see
want
what
to
the
say something
bid is.
about Lion? I heard you mention Lion earlier.
I just want you to
I've seen
defend
he
Lion,
sucks.
because Proud thinks Lion's the worst hero in Dota,
Dude,
other than
Lion's
CM.
amazing.
Not the worst hero in Dota, but he's pretty bad right
He has
now.
a hex, so and any hero that has the potential to blink hex will be good in my eyes.
Yeah, but like he's just worse than Shadow Shaman in every way.
I mean, you can do like ravages on him, or like 3-4 man stuns that you can't do on Shadow Shaman. That's like the difference. I don't think the mana
Yeah, but
drain buff was good enough to like make him a good hero, though. Unfortunately,
yeah, he sucks.
I do like him.
I mean,
a
I
lot.
won with a lion. I won with a lion on my team like a day or so ago, but that was just like we were aggressive 100% of the time, and they never had a chance to actually attack us. So the fact that lion, falls over if there's wind didn't come into play.
I think if you have a player who's really good at Lion, he can be above like other heroes. You know what I mean? Like definitely a player
He can
preference.
be
sort
not
of thing.
completely worthless.
Um,
Certainly.
You see this
But yeah,
brick
he's not
wall
the
we
strongest
talk
level one.
against, Skrunk?
yeah,
Lion's not that bad, dude.
It's pretty bad.
I do like you can just build Tranquils and then you never have to go back to base because you mana drain and get mana, and then you get health. And Shadow Shaman doesn't have that feature, like all that uptime.
He does have the ability to zone the lane feature, though.
Yeah.
That's a pretty core feature to have.
Yeah, he's much better in that aspect. It's true.
Yeah. Iron fucking sucks.
All right.
But if you have another support, buy all the support items, and then you start Null Talisman online, could do some work.
Oh yeah, that's actually the best situation. I've had a lot of pubs like that actually, where it worked out very well. I was like, "Hey Pudge, can you buy everything? I want to buy a Null." And then Pudge was like, yeah, "Of course, of course, I'll do that for you, dude."
That's why you start your own team and you do the captain, and you tell your other support players.
Yeah, start a team so I can do every shitty play that comes into my mind.
That's what teams are for, right?
Yeah, I think so. That was my prior experience.
All right.
Okay.
So today we're just gonna be going into a pub and picking heroes, and then we're gonna come back and talk about why we picked said heroes. Before we do that, we're gonna talk a little bit about our sponsor for today. Sponsor for today is Unikrn, UNIKRN. They are everyone's premier esports book, esports outlet, esports, etc. Unikrn has completely legal and free to play esports betting everywhere, as well as real money betting if you are in the blessed, morally bankrupt places of the UK and Australia, which allow you to legally bet money. You can earn betting tokens as well as Unikrn Gold to use on cosmetic item raffles just by playing your favorite games. You can play LoL, CSGO, and most importantly, you can play Dota. In addition to esports betting, Unikrn has plenty of other stellar Dota 2 content, including articles, prominent analyses, one of the two, guides to new patches when they go live, and other common interest esports pieces from folks like Gorgon and others.
Esports interest pieces.
Esports pieces. There's too many vowels.
Right. Esports
pieces, inspirational esports. I don't know. Unikrn also has Unikrn Connect, Unikrn Connect. That's their service. We can earn Unikrn Gold by playing the games that we were talking about earlier, and trade those in to win some cosmetics. I think hopefully we'll get a battle pass in the next couple months, and then maybe there'll be some more things to raffle for, because I know that's when everybody's going to be fiending cosmetics. You can find more info on Unikrn at unikrn.com, UNIKRN.com, and more info on Connect at unikrn.com/connect, CONNEKT. Thank you for your support, Unikrn. We are going to hop into our game. You can watch the VOD on our YouTube channel.
Watch it!
Yeah, I believe. So our new YouTube channel, I think, is going to be youtube.com/fourthspiritdota. I think that's what we came to. But yeah, just go to the Discord and you'll find a link to the VOD. So we'll see you in 20 seconds.
Okay, here we go. Theory Craft Thursday, round 1. The stage of fate is set. Ready? Fight!
All right, boy, that felt good.
Whew, that felt good.
All right, hello, everybody. We're back. We've just completed our game. It was a fun game, and it was a win. It was a win game. It was a one game. Thanks in no small part to us. I'll say. That's a lie. Actually, it was not us at all. It was an ROD. But team comps. The enemy team comp was a offlane Clockwork, that a mid lane Pangolier, that is safe lane Tri-lane of Razor, Nightstalker, and Vengeful Spirit. Of course, the Nightstalker roamed a little bit once nighttime hit. Our team had a safe lane Tri-lane of PA, played by Proud, Tusk, played by myself, and CM, played by a random person. Then we had a mid lane OD, played by a random person, and an offlane Tiny, played by Skrunk. So
it was technically, in some sense, a random person.
Yeah, yes, he is an unfamiliar face. So let's go lane by lane. Skrunk, how did the offlane go? You had a pretty rough tri-lane to go against.
Yeah, so I died like 3 times in the start, but I mean, they just had Vengeful Spirit, Nightstalker, Razor, like running at me under the tower and stuff, so when I would try to come in for experience, they would get me. They just stayed missing in the trees for a while, so it made it tough. and especially Tiny, like, you don't have an escape, so if the enemies focus on killing you, they pretty much will. But once the supports like decided that they killed me enough and kind of left to go to other lanes, then I was able to catch back up pretty well, and it seemed like their enemy Clockwork was getting just as zoned out as me, so it turned out pretty good. I could just farm under my tower, because Tiny has got such nice high base damage that you can't really miss CS under tower. So
yeah,
went pretty well.
I always wonder about that. Like, once you have a offlaner so zoned that they literally cannot do anything besides wait for you to leave, like, is it? I think most of the time it's really not worth it to rotate. Like, if both of yours, even if you take like, you know, both of your supports have TPs, but they just spend all their time making sure that the enemy team just has a level 1 Tiny at 7 minutes, like, that seems worth it. Like, I don't feel like you rotate away from that. Like, you're getting guaranteed value.
Yeah, I mean, like, one thing on support is like if you are trading your game for someone else's, like, you're denying all of their farm and XP at the cost
you're
of
trading
your own.
up, like, you're trading your 5 for the entirety of their 3, and you can, you know, still get bounty runes and shit.
But if you stop, then it was kind of like, it's not going to be as effective
in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and they wanted to like help their mid lane and stuff, which usually happens. But yeah, I don't know what I would have done if they had just continually dived me over and over. I probably would have like let them take my tower as I farmed like a medium camp, and then just tried to like wait by my base until they finally pushed up and get late creep aggro that way or something.
Or at least like leave the Venge there, you know, like have TPs on them. I don't know. I've just had a lot of those situations where like we totally shit on their off lane, and then we just like decide to leave, and then we roam and die on our roamers, and then like their off lane just gets level 5 at, you know, like, you know, at 8 minutes, gets their ult at, you know, 9 or something, and it's like, then they do a team fight, and then they win the team fight because our supports just roamed to their death 2 times, and like the whole game's reset, and you're like, couldn't you were guaranteed, like, that was a level 1 Tidehunter. I feel like you don't stop that process and keep that one where it is.
Once they left me too, it was like, I'm like a level 3 Tiny against like a level 5 Razor or whatever, but Razor would link me and run up towards me, and I would just run back a little bit and then just toss him back under the creep wave, and I would never die like solo to him. So that I could just get all the XP that I wanted. So yeah, it was pretty good from there.
Yeah, seems good.
Yeah, it was an interesting comparison in the offlane, because we've talked a lot on the show about how kills in the early game don't really matter that much. Other than like first blood, you know, a couple hundred gold does matter, but you died 3 times in early lane. But then I remember looking back at one point, and you were still ahead of the Clockwork, but I think we'd only killed the Clockwork once, and it was just through virtue of like you were under your tower getting creeps for a good amount of it, whereas Clockwork, we zoned him a bit more. Then I think we killed him once, and then we zoned him again. And so he was like level 2, and you were level 3, but you had triple the deaths that he did. So it's just kind of a good example of how like deaths really are not the end of the world by any means.
Because I was running up and dying, but at least getting like a few creeps of experience. And since Clockwork's not doing that, like not dying, I had 3 deaths before he even had any of them, I think.
Maybe.
You guys did kill him eventually, but so it was almost better to just run in and die a few times. As like shitty as it may seem to your team, it might be like demoralizing to see your off lane dying like a bunch of times, but we've gone back to this point that sometimes it's worth it.
Yeah, I was playing an Underlord game where, like, you know, our supports were just like not doing anything, or they were like bad supports or whatever, and our safe lane was kind of like losing or whatever, and I died 3 times in the off lane total, and they were like, why is our off lane feeding? It's like, buddy, I'm an off laner and I got 3 deaths. It's not my fault y'all can't kill a fucking faceless void. This is how the game is played. I'm like dying for a reason here. It's purposeful death.
But what you guys did, just zone the Clockwork, and it was like better without even pursuing for kills. So
yeah, that was one of the mistakes I made earlier. Was like you were kind of getting the Clockwork, and I like ran away to throw my shitty like low range dagger with level 1 dagger on PA, and I missed like 3 CS because of it. It's like, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah. So how'd the safe lane go?
It was good. I mean, I just missed a bunch of CS because I wasn't used to PA. Like the auto attack comes out so fast, and I kept last hitting it early, and I was like, what? How'd she do it that quick? And then I got used to it, then it was fine. But for a while, I was just like, how the fuck? She's so good at last hitting quickly, but not hard, and I just fucked everything up. But then, you know, I mean, I would have had a 13-minute Battle Fury, but I didn't buy before I died, so I had it like 14 or something. But it was good. I really actually kind of liked PA here. I mean, this game wasn't that difficult. I think we had a fairly large MMR advantage, but it very much PA. I feel like we hit a point. Or at least just, you know, when we're decently ahead, it's very easy to just go from kill to kill to kill. And even when you said, like, your lane was going badly, I was, like, in the back of my mind, like, if it's still going badly, as soon as I get, like, Phase, my Bassi, and, you know, like, my Wand, I can just port there and go kill them with Skrunk. And then we'll have won that lane, and then I'll just go back. And, like, that would have been very easy to do. But, I mean, you worked out just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really PA was pretty fun. Like, there's definitely going to be a point very soon in that game where I just like wasn't going to be able to do anything, but that's where the rapier was going to come in. But we didn't quite get to that point, unfortunately. But I feel like if I was being conservative on PA, I would get BKB Basher then rapier, because without having the Basher, like, you know, I'll get like one rapier attack off, and then they'll walk away from that, and then I'll be like, I got more, please, and then they won't you know care. And that would be bad. So, kind of definitely, I think the build, you get Phase, you know, or rather Wand Phase, whatever regen piece you need from Battle Fury, if you do need it, and I get Bassi, and then I finish my Battle Fury, go back for the Aquila, and then get Deso, then BKB Basher, Divine Rapier. I think that's
I really like Tusk plus PA as a combo, because you would be able to blink strike them, and then once he started getting away, I could snowball you back in, which was like a pseudo blink strike, and then I would just wall him, and then you and I would both be on top of him still. So
yeah, and I have another blink strike in a couple seconds. Yeah, we were able to get very much on top of people.
It was nice. Tusk was I was pretty happy that this was such a good Tusk game, because the last time we played Tusk, it was just like freaking terrible. So I wanted to like guarantee everybody that I'm not an absolutely incompetent Tusk. And this game was a great Tusk game. Like, Tusk CM is a pretty solid support duo, considering CM sucks, but like he makes up for a lot of her weaknesses. Right.
Well, he just does things early game, which makes up for CM being like a worthless hero who just can only jungle
but also like
the
fact that like I can redirect the enemy's paths of movement means that the fact that she's super slow and easy to kill means like I can send people away from her or towards her.
She fucking starts doing her ulti, and you just like put up
you're
a
staying
wall.
here.
Like, nope. She's in the trees and blocked it off.
So that was nice. I didn't really roam though. We had an OD mid, and OD like really handily won his mid matchup. Also, OD had a pretty good mid MMR advantage. Our OD was rank 300, and their mid Pangolier, which is already a bad matchup, was rank 1000. So OD just free farm, but like OD's not really a hero you can gank with. Like it's not like he's a Zeus or like an Ember Spirit or something that has really good kill potential. And he did the exactly, and he did the Astral Imprisonment build that a lot of people have moved away from, but is still perfectly fine. Which meant that he had a really like when you do the Astral build, it means you have a really solid lane, but you lack that like explosive potential to just like get good positioning and get a kill. But he just like farmed and had a huge advantage built up, and then had like a really early Hurricane Pike treads and 2 nulls. And just jammed on people. So yeah, from a Tusk perspective, this was a good game overall. I didn't have too many save opportunities, but I went Solar Crest before Blink. I think that was probably why I did not see as many opportunities for saves. And also, I didn't really need to save anybody, because OD was saving people with Astral, and then also we were just kind of like rolling over them. We really hit our stride and then just continued it until the game was over.
I like that item build though, the Solar Crest into Spirit Vessel. That's like a really nice build on a lot of cores right now.
It definitely worked out. I think in a lot of games I would stop at Medallion maybe, but given we had PA, I really just wanted to have like the setup so that PA could just like jump on somebody, and then PA has Deso, and she has the minus armor talent, and then also I have Solar Crest, and it helped shore up our push in that like I can defensively use the thing. It's nice, and Spirit Vessel's OP.
Right. And I mean, us together also, like if you roll in with me, my Deso and my Corruption are buffing Gear Punch, which is like, you know, honestly no small thing. So, I mean, yeah, like our burst potential on, especially against a hero like a Razor who wants to like be a team fight anchor that you can't like walk around or that you have to like get through before you get to the rest of the team. If you can just topple that over immediately, like the whole team just crumbles.
Yeah, and we were blowing up Razor super hard. It was just like tiny combo on with the dagger on top with like OD hitting a few times, and
that was like a really textbook bad Razor game, in that you win your lane, you feel strong, but then you can't parlay that into anything else because all your other lanes are lost and you're getting pressured.
And his team was core light too, so he wasn't like making space for anybody. He was just like had to win fights to win that game.
Yeah, I mean their team had to like, you know, off the laning phase like push and end or whatever, and they did not win the laning phase, so that didn't happen.
There was that one funny play, Sam, that where you made your shards, you hit the Pangolier ultimate, and it was just bouncing around. Like into the
that was super.
Shards over and over
I was like
90%
sure that's how that worked, because there's some like weird interactions with certain abilities that like fissure. But yeah, so Pangolier shards work like a wall, so that when Pangolier's in his ult, if you get him in a corner, he just stays going back and forth in the corner until he can jump out. And if he mistimes his jump, if he's in a tight enough space, then he'll jump and stay in place. So that was pretty funny. I only did that once, but once I was aware of it and saw that, I was like, man, I should have been doing that all game. So for next time, I'll remember to do that. The Pangolier nerfs felt real big. Oh, yeah.
Clockwork also does that to him. So that I mean that's something that I was hoping that they were going to fuck up, or can be amazing. Like if you get into the cogs with an enemy and you just bounce back and forth, you just shred them.
Yeah, that's. So
but if you like if you know if you do that and then they force out, you're
that
just
hero is
stuck.
Still really annoying, but the nerf to his ult really feels consequential.
Yeah, like if we didn't die to the ulti, we knew the hero just wasn't going to do anything for the next
60, 50, 40
duration of the ulti cooldown. But you know,
mid Pangolier is like, I feel like that's something that No, I think it used to be
That's
40 at all levels. No, you're right. Now it's 80, 70, 60. Let me look it up.
I was like,
I have it right now. Yeah, it's 70, 65, 60.
So fucking wrong.
It used to be 50, 45, 40. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
That was a really noticed nerf, at least. Yeah.
He was
Mana
canceling a lot
boots,
of
triple
TPs
javelin,
with his stupid
XD.
bastion. That was annoying, but other than that,
I'm glad.
He's hitting for quite a lot.
Well, so let's talk about the offlane tiny build. Let's talk about the offlane tiny build.
Gotta love
I said that
mechanics.
twice.
Okay. So I just tried to go treads, and I went for really early raindrops just to try to survive. Like I went boots, and then the belt of strength, and then raindrops, just to try to survive. Finish up the treads, and then that game I started farming pretty well, so I decided to go drums. Any game where I feel like I'm going to be getting farm for like a little while, I'll go drums on, because I think it makes Tiny just able to fight in that period of the game so much better without blink. And like I was able to like TP top and like join team fights, and just popping the drum charges helps you catch people. And like I didn't get my blink until 20 minutes, but it didn't feel like bad at all. Like it wasn't like we were like, oh, we need this blink for initiation, like because we were just brawling. So I like to go the drums, and then I just went for an AC after, and then pretty much the game was over at that point. The attack speed from the Hyperstone is great, and man,
look at
the AC just kind of naturally comes as a great aura item after.
Do you ever get Soul Ring or Bottle if you don't get drums?
I do go Bottle.
Like, drums good for the mana, but
I don't go Soul Ring, although I know Soul Ring is like very good on strength heroes. But I do go Bottle some games. It just depends how like roam heavy it is. Like it depends. If there's a lot of movement between my lane and mid, I'll get Bottle. But
would you get drum and bottle in the same game, or is that delaying your blink too much?
I would, yeah. But I had to be farming like super well.
Yeah.
It's just like I think all the small items and drums just help. So like I had 500 gold, and it's like yes, a bracer would be really nice right now.
Yeah. And the mana regen from Sage's Mask is so good.
Yeah, I just feel like it makes your hero like just feel better to play when you have the drums.
Yeah, and you're not slow as shit. Yeah, like drum definitely fills Tiny out. I think it's the most tactile way I could say it. So you just go and he's a big, thick, beefy boy instead of this small frame of a rock that crumbles.
Yeah, I'm pretty much settled on my Tiny build as being treads, drums, blink, AC, heart. I just love the build. Like, obviously there's variations, but that's like my personal favorite.
Yeah, I do the same thing for safe lane. I mean, I get a bottle every game if I'm safe, and I sometimes don't go the hard. I go normally either BKB and then after that Daedalus or something. But yeah, the drum into blink AC I feel like is definitely where Tiny is at right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Sure. I mean, any other big things about this game that you guys?
How'd you skill it? Because you said that do you get just like get the tree at level 1 and then do your nukes after that?
Yeah, so I go tree. This is it really changes, but I usually go tree level 1 and then 1 point stun, 1 point toss, and then I'll get up to like 3 in toss, and then like 3 in stun, and then I'll max out toss. I don't know. I usually like to level them up kind of equally.
Yeah.
Because like usually sometimes I'll put 2 points in the stun, because in the early game like you're landing your stun on multiple people, and it can just be like a big early game spell to deal more damage with. But
yeah, and it does 30 more damage at level 2 than toss does at level 2.
Yeah, for sure. So like I actually change my Tiny build like every game, like as far as I skill it. But I never go more than 1 point in the tree. Like, I'll always max my combo out before getting any more than 1 in tree.
Yeah, sometimes the safe lane Tiny I get like 2 points in tree grab, but that's just like if I want the extra building damage for one reason or another. But for the most part, like 1 point tree, max the other shit.
Yeah, like the toss is better harass, the stun is better like skirmish, if you're actually getting in like big skirmishes.
And if your mana is pretty restrained, you're only gonna have like 1 spell, and you're gonna cast the stun. Like it's always like a stun toss combo. It's not just I only use toss. Like it's not like a thing.
Yeah. So lots of games I would go like 3 in stun and then 4 in toss after. I would be 3-1 and then go to 3-4.
That makes sense.
Some games recently I've been going 2-4, but yeah.
Yeah, like the stun starts out at 120 damage, toss starts at 75, but toss goes up 25 damage a point. So like once you get to the 3rd point, they're both pretty within each other by like 15 points, and then they end at the same spot. The only thing with toss is that toss also does 30% more damage if they're the toss target. So like, the first point Avalanche is still definitely going to be better point for point, but once you get to like 3 and 4, toss is like definitely gets up there. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And then the other thing is just toss helps with sieging buildings too,
right?
Of course. So
yeah. Once you're like actually pushing, you also want the toss leveled up.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll probably start doing 2 points Avalanche on Tiny. I mean, when you're playing safe lane, you get enough levels that you get the max level toss pretty early, but there's still definitely plenty of like laning fights where I'd want 2 points Avalanche.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. That's what I've been doing lately, because sometimes you'll only have like you'll Avalanche for CS too. Sometimes if you can like harass and get CS, so that's nice.
Okay, I'm glad I changed my build a little bit. Talking to my good friend Skrunk.
Yes. I couldn't get the lane pull, that all the offlaners are loving nowadays, because they had like Venge, Nightstalker, Razor, but we worked it out.
I've seen a lot of people just like die for that, but I mean, if you can't even get there, then you can't do it. It's like for most of the time you do that pull, you have to plan it in advance. It's not like you can defend the rune and then go do it, because like they will watch you walk with them away from the rune, and they're just like, I'm gonna kill you if you keep going forward, and you're like, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, it's something I've been like debating. Is like, do I just go more like all out for it? Like, do I meet the creeps like near the tier 2 instead of like?
That's what I started doing, and that's way better.
Yeah,
like I've seen people, they like the place that they walk up is like, it's harder on Dire, but like on Radiant you can walk up like up by like go up to the Ancients, the enemy, like go up towards like the mid and then just like run down from there and take the creeps. But on like as Radiant against Dire, the only way up is that like one avenue that's right by the runes, so like you can't really sneak around anywhere there. But as Dire against Radiant, it's pretty easy to just like fucking go some crazy way and then go by the, you know, take them from the tier 2. And normally their safe laner or whatever is like, you know, waiting to like block once the creeps get up there or something, and you can just get it for free.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely can start doing that. It's the best is when you pull it out a little ways and then you can just TP back to your own tower and then you get the
and it's already far enough back.
Yeah, I love that.
Let's talk a little bit about like how well-rounded our team comp was in respect to like our choices of heroes, because even though like we kind of just played what we wanted to play, at the same time we had like a really like legitimately good team comp,
barring the Crystal
in
Maiden.
terms of like we had a lot of, well, yes, barring the Crystal Maiden, but
she had
so we had
a lot in this draft at least.
Well, yeah,
no,
it helped me out.
His hate for Lion only supersedes his, or his hate for Lion is only superseded by his hate for CM.
She's a bad one.
Regardless, she's terrible. But the team comp I really like, just through virtue of we had a good amount of physical, like straightforward damage in the PA carry, but then we also had a lot of AoE control between Skrunk's tiny offlane, my Tusk, and also the CM. And then even the OD offers like a little bit of AoE in a team fight sense with his ult, damage-wise. And then we had a mid that scales, but also like does not lose his matchup, which allowed us to focus really heavily on the safe lane. And then as the game continued, the OD was benefited a lot from our kind of like drawn out, that's the word I'm looking for, fight style when we needed to. So like there were a few fights where Proud was still in his like farming phase or split pushing phase, and we were just taking these like really weird fights in mid lane. Usually I think it was just me, Crystal Maiden, and OD. And we would just delay fights for so long that OD would just build up a bunch of int and then just like throw the hammer down and kill like 2 people. And it was a really nice bit of synergy the way that our kind of what's the word? Our sextet of heroes worked. Is that the word for 5? Sextet? I think it's
that
sextet.
should be 6.
Is that 6? Sectet? Is that 5? I can't remember.
Let's see. Sextet is 6. I would think it'd be like a quintet, right? For 5. Quintet is 5.
Quintet is a group containing
I'm so
5.
Fucking smart. Holy shit.
Our quintet.
I'm impressed. Your knowledge of acapella group size numbers is
I don't know
impressive.
don't even begin to fucking paint me as an acapella knower.
Yeah, it was really nice in terms of like making a nice, well-rounded team comp. Even though we just kind of like
what was bad about it was we didn't have any real like actual long duration disable. So like Pangolier was pretty much able to get his ulti off every single time and skirt away from us pretty easily. So one thing that would have been better is like if CM was like a good hero, then I think we would have been fine. If she was a Rubik here, what an easy game.
Yeah, if CM was a Rubik or a Venge or
Disruptor,
a Lion.
can you imagine?
That would have been nice. But
can you imagine
I was
Disruptor
reaping the benefits of her aura, her mana aura.
The aura
so was I.
was nice.
And then we had like
I was able to skip my soul ring because
we had like the arcane aura on OD as well, so we were not running out of mana when we grouped up.
Yeah, just for comfort, I almost bought a soul ring anyway, but I talked myself out of it because I really liked soul ring on Tusk. Just through like you can use soul ring and use your full combo and then be back to good as new. So it's a nice handy little pickup both for farming and for fighting. But in this game, I just had so much mana that I was just like, I don't even care about this.
Whoops.
I don't even care about getting a soul
Not
ring.
ready.
Anything else in this game?
PA1.
Did we talk about your itemization?
I was curious about Deso.
Yeah, PA did
I
win.
know you don't think how do you feel about Deso?
What? You gonna question me, the PA player?
Yeah, what'd you think about Deso?
It sucks and it's bad. But you know what? Hey, a PA's got to do what a PA's got to do, right?
I guess.
There's just
Is
no
there
other
there's
item
no
for this
better
hero.
alternative.
Well, I know there's some people who really like Manta, and I used to love Manta PA. There was a time when PA was pretty popular, and like Arteezy and Jackie Mao were playing it, and our boy Eternal Envy built a lot of Manta PA. It was a lot of Battle Fury Manta PA, and I like that build also. I just like the Deso is just really good when you're going for the rapier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people
that's
who,
true.
because like Deso is such a bad item that there's, I think the most common people that play PA now, like, I mean, because if you just don't know what you're doing on PA and you just kind of pick her for the fuck of it, you're gonna go the Deso build and like you're just gonna do badly because PA sucks. And if you are a big PA player, you're attracted by shiny new things like the Battle Fury Manta kind of stuff. So it's not that like the Manta is like better. It's just that if you're interested in playing PA, the only reason to really be playing her right now is if you think the new thing is good. Otherwise, you would just be getting Deso, and you already know that the regular Deso PA is not that good. But I think that PA with Rapier is cool, so I think that it's good to pick. I really do believe in the PA Rapier. I've won a lot of games that seemed kind of unwinnable on PA, and then like it's like you hit that point on PA where she just kind of, like she's one-shotting people, and then all of a sudden she doesn't, and you just lose the game because she just can't be a Phantom Assassin anymore. But you get that Rapier, and there is never a time where you're not one-shotting people, and it's just like you just kill them.
Yeah, and the minus armor adds to your huge damage.
Yeah,
so,
it like synergize. Like,
yeah,
like you synergize with it about as much as Ursa, if not more so. Like Ursa has overpowers for some free attacks. You have Phantom Strike, which is similar, only it's also a teleport. You can throw your rapier from afar. You have built-in crit. And you natural BKB builder, and you have minus 10 armor on your hero if you buy Deso. She's great. It's a great rapier hero.
too bad we didn't get to see it in action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no proof.
The Ursa game was good though.
Yeah.
That was a good rapier.
We'll put the match ID in the description. The Ursa game.
For that
people
one.
who
If
wanna
you want
watch
to see a fucking Ursa out carry a Chaos Knight in the late game. Chaos Knight's just supposed to be
All
a bad
right.
Ursa matchup. There's a lot of boys, and Ursa can only focus on one thing at a time. But hey, when you get a Battle for your rapier, it's no problem,
It works.
right? It works.
It really
Right.
works. Try it yourself.
It really works. Don't try this at home. Try it on the computer. Try it in a PC bong.
All right. Okay. So let's close out the show, shall we? Thanks for joining us, Skrunk.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure we'll have you back sooner rather than later. Yeah, actually, to be fair, we
Maybe
may
my
have to
mic
kick you off
will
after
be
this
better next time,
performance.
hopefully. That's the
Yeah.
idea.
We'll see.
If I'm invited
yeah,
back.
so let's see. Yeah, Skrunk, you're already invited back. You have the seal of
Oh,
approval.
nice.
So we have some plugs to do. Twitter, @Ursinity, @ProudDodo. Skrunk, do you use Twitter? What's
Yeah,
your
I
Twitter?
do.
I know you have
It's
it.
Skrunk555. I've been posting screenshots of random games, so...
Are you named after the 555 deal from Domino's?
No, I'm not. It's actually after...
Are you sponsored by them?
I would love to be sponsored by Domino's, and I would get way fatter, but no, unfortunately I'm not. But the 555 is from the Thai slang. In the Thai language, the 5 is ha. That's how you say it. So people write 555 to mean ha ha ha. And that's where the 3 5s come
Oh.
So is that because you're a fucking joke?
Yes, it's because I'm a fucking clown. That's why.
You're just a fucking clown.
I'm silly.
Yep, and then Our Twitter is at Fourth Spirit. You can find our website, fourthspirit.com. You can find our podcast everywhere that you can find podcasts. You can tell a friend. That's a great way to support us. Tell many friends, preferably, about the lovely Dota podcast you may or may not be enjoying, hopefully.
And if you don't have friends, we're sorry for bringing that up.
Yeah. Or like just, you know those like pages that people tape to like telephone poles and they have like the little pull off things?
Right.
Just make one of those, but it says Fourth Spirit on all the little pull off things. And I don't know, maybe like some old people will take them because that's who I assume pull off those little tabs. But yeah,
old people can't
do
pull.
whatever kind of guerrilla marketing you want to do. So, yeah, the other way to support us is patreon.com/fourthspirit. That's where you can get all the what's it called, casual shows every other Monday, and the hero specific shows every other Monday that we do. We also do plenty of other stuff. Proud and I have I was gonna say long running, but we have the running Dark Souls series that is quite good fun.
Did you order a new processor yet?
No, I'm gonna build a whole new computer actually.
Like within
my
the
motherboard's.
month?
No, not within the month.
Well, you need to have it by the next recording.
I'm gonna mess around with some other stuff. I'm gonna build a new computer when I get my tax return.
Buy the processor.
I can't do that.
Why?
I can't do that because my motherboard is so old that all the like best processors are out of out of production, so they're way more expensive than like twice as good processors would be. So I'm just gonna build a whole new computer.
That sucks.
It does suck. The like processor I was looking at. There's only like 2 i7s that are even made for my like the chipset that my motherboard has.
Yeah, socket.
And it's like $400. So I'd rather just buy one that's like twice as good for $300. Because it's just like a chipset issue. Anyway, I'm gonna look into some more little optimization stuff for that. Regardless, it's fun if you listen to it as just like a podcast. That's basically how I rewatched it. So yeah, there's plenty of other random stuff on the Patreon. The Discord we have, discord.gg/fourth, FOURTH. That's where you can chat. You can send us questions for Teach Me Tuesday. You can send us feedback at show@fourthspirit.com. That's our email. There's other stuff too. Yeah, that's about it though. Again, thanks to Unicorn for sponsoring us. Thanks to Skrunk for coming and gracing us with his presence.
One of Merritt's segments, Skrunk, will you recommend us something? Can be anything. Can be a habit. Can be a piece of media. Can be a way to skin pigs if that's something you really like to do. Just recommend something.
I'm gonna go with eating a lot of onions. That's gonna be my recommendation. Okay. You put them in a pan for and you just let them sizzle for a really long time. I have some onions sizzling right now, and the longer
is that what the static in the background actually is? It's just them sizzling onions.
So that's my go-to. Yeah, eat more onions. They're good for you. You'll feel great.
So, all right, we all just got wrecked. That's what that segment's called. It's called Get Wrecked. That's on us.
Do I get to recommend something?
Why would we ever want something that you like?
That's true.
All right, you recommend
coming
something.
Back on
Feel free.
February 22nd.
Recommend something.
CLC is coming back on February 22nd with the title song Black Dress.
Wait,
you should buy their mini album, stream on Naver and Melon.
Sure, recommend me something.
You should watch Hajime no Ippo, the anime. It's about boxing and it's good.
Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah, what Ursi said. It's a good anime.
Would you let him have his turn?
He said like the totally
I'm
wrong
sure
letters.
I said it so
I'm
wrong.
not going to Google that.
But yeah, watch that if you like anime, if you're into that sort of thing. And I'm talking.
Or if you just like boxing.
Yeah,
it's dope.
You don't really watch much anime, but you really liked that one.
Yeah, I'm not a big anime watcher, but that show is really cool. So maybe someone will actually watch that if I recommend it.
Great.
I hope so.
That was great.
Proud, what's your recommendation?
Buy Divine Rapiers.
Okay, that's a bit more in line with the show, I suppose, rather than onions and K-pop.
Listen to Awake But Still in Bed or Camp Cope. Those are both cool bands that I just found. Enjoy.
All right. So this has been Theory Craft Thursday, and thanks for listening. It's been our theory, and if it didn't work out, well, I don't know. Blame the weird flirting 2-stack we got paired with. That was
that
bizarre.
didn't get addressed. Anyway, whatever.
And goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.